I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Donald Trump has just put out a new press release which is signaling that he may have gotten the nightmare news that he has been indicted or he is about to be formally indicted and charged. Let me just read for you the statement, this completely unhinged and deranged statement that he made on his campaign letterhead nonetheless, which seems to have that indication, especially based on the timing that we're aware about. Seems like the last witnesses were called on Wednesday, which could indicate that on Thursday, the criminal grand jury in Manhattan would be casting their votes about indicting Donald Trump. And so it seems the timing here lines up that this would be, or the news may be delivered very soon. But let me read from you the statement that Donald Trump released. It's dated March 16th, 2023. A statement from the Trump campaign on the Manhattan DA's witch hunt, he calls it. President Donald J. Trump is completely innocent. He did nothing wrong. And even the biggest, most radical left Democrats are making that clear. From Russia to the Mueller hoax, to impeachment hoaxes 1 and 2, even the unlawful Mar-a-Lago raid. Democrats have investigated and attacked President Trump since before he was elected, and they failed every time. Now Democrats are at it again, pushing the, quote, nuclear button and attacking a president because of a disgraced extortionist. This is happening because President Trump is leading in the polls by a large margin against both Democrats and Republicans, and there's never been anything so blatant in American political history. If the Democrats can do this to President Trump, they can do it to you. I mean, when you read this over and over again, it's just like, not only is it deranged and unhinged, but it's just like boring. Like, you say the same ridiculous stuff all of the time. And again, it's just so shocking to me that Republicans have become a cult that like looks up to this person. This is just some horrific stuff. But just as you go through it, he goes, people on the radical left believe that he's innocent. What in the world is he talking about? And all of the things that he says are hoaxes are not hoaxes. And he's just saying words. Russia, Ukraine, Mueller. Like, who even speaks like this? Then going on, he goes, the latest witch hunt is being brought on by George Soros-backed radical left Democrat prosecutor Alvin Bragg. Bragg has made political donations to fellow radical Democrats like Raphael Warnock. That's who he cites as a radical left Democrat, Raphael Warnock. And now Bragg is making a political donation of a different kind to Joe Biden. Everyone knows it's a sham. In fact, the Department of Justice stocked the DA's office with top people from D.C. to help, quote, get Trump at a local level. Americans will not tolerate radical left Democrats turning our justice system into an injustice system to influence presidential elections, which is all they want to do. Our country is not going to let this happen. This will backfire massively for the Democrat Party, doesn't even call it the right thing, Democrat Party, and end in disgrace for our nation. That's what a Trump spokesperson, Stephen Chung, said. You know when he says that, when Donald Trump goes, Americans will not tolerate this. What he's just saying right there is to his insurrectionist base. He's saying, do something about it. That's his call to them. He's saying, you do something about it, protect me. You know, when he wants to encourage another insurrection. By the way, one of the impetus, one of them for the insurrection, of course, was yes, holding on to power, but he knew that he was going to be held accountable when he left for all of the criminality that he's engaged in throughout his life. So he was fine sacrificing all of these insurrectionists who are now in jail and who are locked up for significant periods of time, not as long as they should be, or are going to trial for seditious conspiracy, trying to do exactly what he says. And meanwhile, he's avoided justice. That's what he doesn't care about his base. They're pawns. And he wants to inspire the pawns to act yet again. And so when you look at it right here, though, when you go back to that first paragraph, when he goes, Democrats are at it again, pushing the quote nuclear button and attacking a president. So when he's saying the nuclear button, he's referring to himself being indicted. That's what he believes is the nuclear button. And when you see that, that's one of the phraseology that, if you try to understand and break down how Trump speaks, that leads me to believe that he may have at the very least received notification by somebody within the district attorney's office that the indictment is about to happen, whether that means in 24 hours or Monday or Friday or Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. He may now know that it is about to happen, and he is now going to be a criminal defendant finally there. And just if you look at his language too, it is an obvious dog whistle. When he goes, Alvin Bragg is funded by George Soros, and then they back other fellow radical Republicans, radical Democrats, and the person who he cites as a radical Democrat, he cites Raphael Warnock. Are you out of your mind? And then he goes on the conspiracy theory that the DOJ is behind the Manhattan District Attorney's criminal investigation. Folks, this is utterly absurd. But frankly, the MAGA Republicans have turned the political party into a cult, and it is an utter absurdity. What I believe is also utterly absurd is that for far too long, Donald Trump has not been held accountable. And you see the sickness. You see how disgusting and what a traitor he is. And it is this mindset of his, this fascistic mindset of his that frankly has scared away people, and it shouldn't. Donald Trump is so weak. He's such a weak little person. He's a deranged, weak little person. He is a traitor, but he is weak and he is a coward. If you just stand up to that coward, he always backs down. There's so many examples we've talked about here on the MeidasTouch Network where you just stand up to him, and because he's a coward, all he has is his words, and he throws ketchup, and he yells, and he makes the facial gestures, and he posts, and he puffs, and I'll blow your house down. It is all an op. It is all an act. Okay? He is a scared little coward. So you call him out. You call him out, because when you call him out, he always backs down. What happens when you put him in a room with Letitia James, right? I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I don't want to answer your questions, Letitia. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. You put him in a deposition in front of E. Jean Carroll's lawyers. What does he do? I mean, the way he answered those questions, he just goes, Russia, 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 Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. That's how he talks. Folks, this guy's an idiot. This guy's a traitor. This guy's as weak as you get. This guy is Putin's stooge. This guy's going to jail. Let's go. Let's be strong. Let's not let that traitor, coward, ever anywhere near power again. Accountability is here. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1 million subscribers in the month of March. Marching to 1 million subscribers. Just hit the subscribe button. Also, check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch, and also wherever you get your audio podcast, just search MeidasTouch Podcast and hit subscribe. Until next time, I'm Ben Meiselas.
Our blue wall stopped the red wave, and election deniers got denied election. That's why we're celebrating with the new Democracy Prevails team. We've got lots of work to do, but we should all be proud that when democracy was tested, democracy prevailed. You've earned this. Don't wait. Get yours right now at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.